Okay.
So at this point, I would say maybe let's open up for Q&A, and then
Okay.
we can address any questions that people might have.
Sure. If there's anybody watching here, you guys are feel free to ask questions. In case that if you have any questions that you guys want to ask, feel free to fire up on the live chat. If there are no questions, I have a question for you, Neil.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so I understand what the mechanics is about by implementing a Smith maneuver. My
Mhm.
question to you is that, or for somebody that are watching this right now, is that why in the world would you shift a mortgage, right?
Mhm.
Um, that are having an interest rate of prime minus, and you're gonna shift it into a home home equity line of credit or your like HELOC with a higher interest rate. Um, Maybe you could give us, because that's what initially that you're like doing, right? Like you're taking out
Yeah,
money from your mortgage. You're kind of shifting your mortgage from your traditional mortgage towards the equity of your home, which becomes available to you, and in turn you're investing that money for a gain, for a higher gain.
absolutely. So what is happening, Alex, is that whenever you pay down your mortgage in a regular conventional mortgage,
Hmm.
okay, you pay down the mortgage, the equity grows, but the equity is not growing anything for you, right? It's just sitting there idle.
Hmm.
But by leveraging the equity created by means of a home equity line of credit,
Hmm.
you are using that money to do more for you. And this is, I think, the example that is in front of you is sort of illustrates the benefit it can create.
Okay.
Right? It can make a $1.2 million portfolio difference in your portfolio.
So, in other words, what the theory behind it is that you are taking that mortgage, and or your home equity line of, or your equity of your mortgage, and you
Mhm.
investing it, uh, hoping to get a higher like return, and that's how you grow your portfolio, and that.
I wouldn't say just hoping to, because there is another aspect which is in play, and that is
Mm,
where the tax comes to your advantage, right? So let's assume that the mortgage on your property is say 1.5 million. Oh, sorry,
okay.
1.5%. Mortgage interest rate
Mhm.
is 1.5%.
Right.
Probably you have a home equity line of credit with a
Hmm.
prime at prime rate, so 2.45 percentage,
Right.
right? Now, given that somebody who earns say $100,000 every year, and this is the
Hmm.
highest tax bracket,
Hmm.
if you're borrowing money on the home equity line of credit, suddenly you would get, sorry, if you're borrowing money on your home equity line of credit and
Hmm.
using it to sort of generate income for yourself,
Hmm.
you can claim tax reduction on the interest which is charged to you,
Got it. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Now it's
right?
starting to make
So
sense. Yeah.
suddenly
Hmm.
the interest which was 2.45%,
Uh huh.
the real cost of that is only half of it, because half of that comes back to you as a tax refund,
Correct. Yes. Okay.
right?
Got it.
So in effect, the interest rates on your line of credit is only about 225 percentage.
Right. Yeah. So as
So
long
I
as
would
you
say
get.
lower than your mortgage.
Hmm. Okay. Got it. Okay. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, because you're making money off the um, expenses in which you're trying to expense. You're getting at the back end, like pretty much you're taking money and invest it,
Mhm.
and you're taking it back to you, and you can expense it, and that's how you make money by the uh, by the refund from your uh, investments, or like whatever it is that's
I
gained.
would say the refund on your investments or taxes is just the icing on the cake, right? The real
That's
cake
just the
is
icing. Yeah.
the real cake is what you can do with the money which is otherwise just sitting in the house doing nothing for you, right?
Right,
So
which
if
is
you have an
buying
equity,
more high performing asset, which is properties, right?
yes.
Okay,
So
got it.
suppose let's say you have $200,000 of equity, two hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollars of equity in your house.
Hmm.
If you just keep it sitting there, it's doing nothing for you. It is obviously growing at the rate of 5% or whatever that the real estate market grows at,
Hmm.
right? But if you reinvest that, suddenly you get now five times the leverage because real estate is a very interesting space, right? By putting
Hmm.
in 20% down, you get control over an asset which is five times that amount.
Okay, so so what you say, Neil, and I'm not gonna put down anybody that have your traditional mutual funds. Okay, so mutual fund is, it does what it does.
Mhm.
It serves its own purpose, right?
Yes,
Um, Having said that, when you invest in a in the mutual funds with the Smith, so I would assume that the gain is just minuscule compared to what you could use. Um, have you invested into a real estate, right?
yes.
Which the value would be significant, like just from what we saw
Mhm.
in the last 5 years, property that are worth 800,000 or 500K at that time is now sitting about 1.2,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So there is no way that your mutual fund will perform that quick in a small space of time, right? So
Yes, yes. So, but it is very important to have a sort of a balance of assets as well, right?
mhm.
Because the one challenge, obviously, with real estate is that it is
It's
largely illiquid.
fluid. Yes, got it. Yeah,
So you
you
should
are
have access to both every kind of assets. They should be liquid assets that you can access at short notice. You should have assets which are growing at a good pace. So I would say there is always room for stocks, real
bonds.
estate for sure, alternate investments like private mortgages,
Hmm.
other lending opportunities. So I would say you should have a mix of these strategies because when one is not working, maybe something else is working for you.
Got it. Okay, sure. So another question for you, and this might be my last question before we end this webinar,
Mhm,
is that for people that are want to implement this strategy, Smith maneuver strategy,
mhm.
what do they have to do? What do they have to set up first, in in order for them to start implementing this Smith maneuver?
Sure, that's a great question, Alex. So the basic starting step for implementing Smith Maneuver is that you should have something called as a re-advanceable mortgage.
Got it. Okay.
And most people tend to have a re-advanceable mortgage if they have a mortgage from one of the big five banks. But I would say 9 out of 10 clients or borrowers do not make use of it.
Hmm.
Right? It is just sitting there, and they're using it as a traditional mortgage.
Right. So for you guys are watching, in order for you guys to take advantage of the Smith maneuver, for you guys to start, you have to have a re-advanceable mortgage, which probably the main one is the Scotia step, right? That's what is being known for the re-advanceable ones. One of the five banks, right?
Yeah,
And
no.
then,
Every bank has its own residential mortgages. Now there are differences for sure between each bank.
mm,
Scotia Step is an excellent product, but
mm,
there are, even if you don't have Scotia Step, it doesn't mean that one cannot implement Smith Maneuver. They
okay,
can. Just that Scotia Step provides certain benefits which I'm not sure other banks provide.
got it. Okay, sure, absolutely. Yeah, so you have to have a re-advanceable mortgage first, which if you don't have it, if you own a property, you may have to refinance your property in order for you to kind of to get that available to you, right?
Yeah,
Um,
And again, the next question might be some your clients would have is okay, if I need to refinance and if they have an existing mortgage, wouldn't they have to pay a penalty for it? Now,
Correct. Yes.
it's a great question, and yes, there could be penalty, but there are ways to sort of
I mitigate it. Yeah.
minimize it or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even eliminate it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where you need to work with somebody who knows about re-advance in mortgages and Smith Manoeuvre, so that they can guide you appropriately
Mm-hmm.
and help you transition to a approach or a strategy which will provide you that benefit, but at the same time minimizing your cost.
Correct. Yes. Yes. I had the third question, but it's kind of slipped on my mind. Now there's so much thing
No
going on
worries.
in my head. Yeah. So when I read this book, the first time, it's just I had to go over it the second time because this is just the beginning. I mean, there's different accelerators that that which very high level technical for you guys. Oh, the question that I'm having is that does this only work with your primary home, or would this work with your secondary home?
Uh, this is uh, this is strat. This strategy is primarily oriented or focused on your primary home
Hmm.
because that is the mortgage which is not technically tax deductible. If you have a rental property, the mortgage on it is already tax deductible. But again,
Okay.
there are approaches where you can sort of, as I said, right, you can use those accelerators and sort of quicken how soon you can pay off the mortgage
Hmm.
on your principal home
Hmm.
by doing certain things in a different way.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So it serve its purpose best when you use it on your primary home. That's what you
Yeah,
say.
that's right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's all what I have for today. Are there anybody out there that have questions? Now's the best time for you guys to ask a question. Anybody out there? Let's see, because I'm not even. Let's see if. Uh, let's see what if there are people out there asking question. I guess there was no question. Okay.
So, Alex, before we drop, I just want to
Mm,
say
mm,
even if somebody's watching on YouTube and they
mm,
want to have access to this book,
mm.
they can always reach out to me, and I have a few copies that I'm willing to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys are watching, I don't know what happened to my screen. If you guys are watching this, this book here, I paid for this book from Amazon. It's a good book. You guys should read this book here, which Neil will give you a free copy if you contact him or me, right? If you want to get a hold of this book here, which is a powerful book. I gone I gone through it, and there's so much maneuver that you can implement here. Um, I don't make money for endorsing this, but if it helps you, why not, right?
Mhm.
Uh, please feel free to reach out to us if you want a copy of this book. And if you guys have any questions when it comes to investment properties, that's what me and Neil is specializing on. We're both investors. We understand. I'm in the real estate side. I could do your calculations based on like what makes sense, and what if there's a money to buy when it comes to like risk. If there's Is that the proper term? Like when you're buying a property, that if there's money to buy, there's money to buy in, or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And Neil is specializes on the financing side. So if you have a question when it comes to financing, um, like please feel free to contact Neil, and I'm gonna share his information here down below. And we're gonna be introducing more of this advanced level. I have many more professionals to come on my like rosters. This is one of those things that very technical when it comes to maneuver. Right? I don't expect you to actually get it the first time. It takes a while for me to understand this. I mean, the real estate business for the last 12 years now, or more than 12 years, and it still took me a while to actually grasp it, right? So once again, guys, if you don't have any questions, I guess, Neil, is there anything that you want to plug in to contact you, in case that they want to like reach out to you with your book? You are free to leave your
Absolutely.
information.
Thank you. So I'm not sure if my screen is still visible, but
Okay,
if
let me just.
somebody out there wants to contact me, then
Okay, it turned
uh,
out. Yeah,
I think Alex can share my phone number and email address, or you
sure.
can go to
It
the
kind of
website called
removed now.
homeandmortgage.ca,
Mhm.
or you
Yeah,
can just do a
I will
Google
share it
search of
below,
me,
like
Joseph.
when it's done for you guys to contact me. Whether you have a technical questions, Neil will be the best person to ask you when it comes to this type of money. I'm not licensed, certified professional when it comes to Smith Maneuver. Neil is. That's why I brought him here with like with his expertise. Having said that, guys, if you don't have any questions, we're going to end this webinar now. I'm sorry that it took us 1 hour, almost 1 hour, 30 minutes, just to go to this number. And you know, uh, and next
Thank
time
you.
we're just gonna try to streamline this, because there's a lot of information to grasp, right? That's what
Sure.
took us long. Okay, but I will post this on my YouTube channel if you guys wants to rewatch this, or on my on my Facebook feeds. Feel free to connect to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Alex Macale. On my YouTube, feel free to search me there. And other than that, we're gonna end this, and I will see you guys on the next webinar.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you very much, Neil, for accepting this invitation. I know this is not very like easy to tackle very highly technical things to explain, and we did our best. And we're getting better, like when it comes to like presentation, like online. We're not that technical. All right, guys. I will
Okay.
see you guys on the next webinar. Which my next webinar would be how to calculate. I can't remember that. Like going to my YouTube feed. It's about investment property. How to buy investment property if there's money in the buy when you're purchasing a real estate property. Okay,
Okay.
guys. I want to thank you guys. And Neil, I want to thank you too for your time. It's Friday, and we got over. And I will see you guys next time. Okay. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.